Hi, it's Michael and Tash from Specific Property, and we're here talking all things property. For this video, we're actually going to talk about an interesting article that I saw CoreLogic release in the last couple of days, Tash, and it probably applies to you a little bit more to me, just given your age. So, and it was about perceptions of affordability in housing, and especially more so that there's been quite a noticeable surge in millennials that are struggling to leave home. And so I guess given that you almost fall in, or you probably do fall into that category, I wanted to have a chat to you about what that's like and what we're seeing and why that might be the case.
Yeah, it's I think it's definitely, so I'm 27, so I definitely do fall in the bracket of millennials and still
so
holding
young.
on. Yeah, we're holding on just. And I think it's, it's down to a few different reasons. I did move out when I was 21, but I have been renting for the last 6 years. And probably will be doing so for a period of time, just based on circumstances of being self-employed, and then that changes your credit rating and being able to get a loan quite dramatically. I think one of the major things is that the lending criteria has changed. Not only that, it's the type of properties. So I come from Canberra originally, so I have a close group of friends and that still reside in Canberra. And the type of properties, it's no longer, $250,000, $300,000 is sort of the bracket for property. It's sort of the $500,000 and up. And in that period of in your 20s, career-wise, if you do go to university and you come out between 21 and 22, likely you're not going to have a lot of money, and then you're an undergrad and you're starting your career out, and so being able to afford, I guess, that $500,000 and up means that there does have to be sacrifice in a lot of lifestyle choices.
Interesting.
Yes, yeah. So my parents, and I have conversations with them sometimes, and they say, when we were younger and we were saving for houses, or to buy a property, we weren't going out for brunch on the weekends, whereas young people, though, these days, it's like you can't miss a brunch out on the weekends.
Smashed Avo on toast.
Yeah. The classic corporate, but I think it definitely is, like, lifestyle has changed. People eat out a lot more. People, socialize a lot more, go away, even traveling alone. A lot of people, they go away for at least one holiday internationally a year, whereas,
Yeah, well, when I grew up, the first time I went overseas was when I was 25.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
People by the time of 25 have been to 100 plus countries,
I didn't take a second trip until I was probably in my late 30s overseas. So it's completely different, I think.
Yeah.
So,
and in saying that, though, like, obviously the prices for flights are a lot cheaper. It's more competitive. So there's always a scale. There's always two sides to look at it. And income has, when my parents, their income when they were in their 20s was a lot lower than what it is now.
But house prices were a lot lower as well.
A lot lower.
And so what's interesting, actually, one of the things in that report was that the ratio between income and the price of the property has increased. So, like, back in my day, it might have been 3 or 4 times your income in terms of the property price. Now that's closer to 6 or 7 or 8, depending on where you're looking at buying. So there certainly has been a change in the ratio of that, and that does make it harder to save a deposit,
100%.
no question.
Yeah, and like I said before, when people are coming out of university and sort of starting their careers, you don't really develop a sense of a high income until your late 20s. So if you're career driven and you are trying to, make that income, you've got to wait until your late 20s until you've got something quite stable. And also, people aren't staying in the same form of career or job title, or even with the same business for long lengths of 10 years, or 5 years even. It's more common for people to try out different things in their 20s, which then does make it, again, a little bit difficult to have that security when you are looking at lending. So there's lots of different variables and there's lots of moving parts, but I think the biggest thing, like you mentioned, is the ratio. And it's a lot more difficult to sort of step in. Yeah,
so I think one of those things that, and the ratio does make it harder, but I think one of the key things is about how to save a deposit, and that's the first thing. So, whilst people need to obviously have some aspiration to purchase a property, one of those things is how do I save a deposit? And if you don't know how to do it, there are actually lots of financial advisors and planners out there that will actually help you do that, which I've actually just discovered recently.
Yeah.
They weren't available when I grew up.
Yeah.
Or not grew up, when I started my property purchase and saving for a deposit. And I think that's really interesting. There are lots of people out there now that will help people, and we can certainly help you with some referrals if you're looking for people. But where they will actually help you take control of your money, and they'll actually get your income deposited into an account and then release you certain amounts of income. Obviously it's your money and you have ultimate control over it, but you basically have to go to them to almost ask for money that is outside of your preset spending kind of criteria. And I find that really interesting, but it makes perfect sense.
It really does.
When people are finding it hard to save.
Yeah, I remember when I was 21 and I just started employment at this particular place, and we had a financial advisor that sat us down, and one of the best coins of advice was split all your money up into all your spending. So have an account for your phone bill, have an account for your electricity, have an account for your car costs. He said split everything up as much as you can, so then you actually know right at the end of the day how much you have left. And apart from all the savings, and divvy it all up. Obviously you want a bank that doesn't have account fees, because otherwise you've got 20 different accounts running. But it was an excellent way to sort of understand, again, where my finances need to go and then how to be able to save at the end of the day.
Yeah, okay.
So there's plenty of options out there.
Yeah.
Any questions that you do have about property, you know where to find us. Again, Tash and Michael from Specific Property. We're on all our usual socials, which is LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. And we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks.